Alright guys, so in this specific video, we are going to discuss about the top and filtering technique itself. But in this specific video, we are not exactly focusing upon these numerical data, but we are focusing upon the text cards, right? So we have started with our executive dashboard wherein we were representing these aggregation values, right? So we started with representing the information that among these 4 years, what was the revenue the company has generated, what is the total number of orders the company had, and what is the return percentage, and what is the profit the company had throughout these 4 years. And then we were representing in front of the executive that what was the month by month breakdown, not exactly a kind of breakdown you can say, but a kind of trending analysis we were able to see via making the use of this line chart, right? At how exactly the revenue was varying with respect to month by month. Then we looked upon this information that with respect to the current month, if we are getting into a loss or if we are getting into a profit with respect to the previous month, right? So that was the insight we were looking upon via making the use of this KPI visual. And then we looked upon our product categories, that what all categories we are having and what is the revenue is being associated with respect to each and every single category. And then we finally made the use of the matrix to get the information that what all top 10 product categories we are having, or what all top 10 products we are having, which is being designed or which is being shown in a way wherein the top product with the top number of orders should be shown at the first place. So on the basis of number of orders, we have simply arranged these multiple orders together, right? Or these products together. So that was the information that we were representing in front of the stakeholders. And then there is one final information that I would like to keep over here, wherein this information is not quite too much important, but just because it would look good if you are just keeping this specific information as well. And that is what exactly you can do is that if you just want to represent a text card, wherein that text card will be reflecting this information, that what is that specific product category we are having, or what is that specific product subcategory that we are having, which is having the maximum number of orders, right? So if you want to show the information like that, then you can definitely go forward with the card visual. So in this specific scenario, what exactly we are representing is not exactly the number, but the text value, right? I want to represent that text information that what is the name of that specific sub product categories there, right? That is something I want to represent. And the second information that I want to represent is what is that specific product subcategory which is having the maximum number of returns, right? Just because the investors or the manager, or you can say the executive, is quite interested in this information, right? That what is that specific product subcategory which is giving us the maximum number of orders, right? So reflecting that information into the first dashboard itself might be a kind of good choice from your side. And just because of that, let us go forward with the text card itself. And we need to keep some space over here so that we can reflect that information. Let us make some space for that, right? Let me just make it Let me just reduce the size of it and let me add it over here itself, right? Okay, you can click over here itself and you can just simply drag it on the top, this specific matrix visual. Okay, and this seems quite fine, right? You can simply reflect the information in this specific area itself, right? Just what exactly you want to represent over here is which specific product subcategory is there, which is giving us the maximum number of orders. There's also one more change you can do over here. You can see that we can simply elongate these values as well, these columns. I can simply elongate if I want to, I can even elongate this specific value, right? A better picture you can get. Okay, so now what exactly I'm interested in at this point, let me first of all arrange it in terms of orders. Yeah. Okay, so I want to come up with a text card at this point. Let us go forward with the insert option. And now with respect to the insert option itself, let us go forward with the text card, right? So we are having this gauge card and KPI, and we can simply go forward with this card visual itself. Or one more thing you can do over here itself, and that is you can simply copy the specific card itself, right? The card which you have already created, you can simply copy that card, or if you want to, then you can simply go forward with a new card as well. Okay, for this specific video, let us go forward with a new card itself. Let us again revise how cards are being created, right? Let me arrange it in a proper manner, and let us represent that text value. And what is the text? Is the product subcategory name. From the product subcategories, we need to represent the product subcategory name, right? Okay, so you can see that we are having some information like big shorts, right? But we are not exactly interested in this specific information at this point. But what exactly I'm interested in is that specific subcategory name with the maximum number of orders attached to it, so that I can simply show it to the stakeholders, right? So what exactly I can do at this point is that let me go forward with applying a filter, wherein the filter will be applied for my first subcategory name, and that filter should be applied on the basis of, let us click over here. So you can see one thing over here, right? That we are not exactly able to go forward with this option. And why exactly we are not able to go forward with this option? Just because via making the use of this, by simply dragging this subcategory name onto this specific visual, we can see the name. But if I want to go forward with applying a filter, then I need to drag and drop this subcategory name into this data fields. So that on the basis of this specific data field itself, I can apply the filter. So just by dragging and dropping one of the value at one go won't actually work. So you simply need to drag and drop again the data field over here itself. You need to drag it, you need to drop it. And now you need to go forward with the basic filtering. So we need to show the subcategory name on the basis of top n, wherein the number one product category should be shown on the basis of the number of orders, right? And now if I'm applying the filter, you will get to see the changes. Okay, so now you can get the information that tires and tubes are there, right? So tires and tubes are giving us the maximum number of orders. So we can show this information in front of the executor. Okay, so we want keep it actually that much elongated. I don't want to keep the whole space for this specific information itself. So I will be bringing in some changes into the formatting of it, just because we want to show that specific product category as well, which is being returned for most number of times, right? So let us bring in some changes into the formatting of it. Let us go forward with the sizing or styling. And first of all, there is this call out label. And yeah, one thing I also want to show you over here, that we don't want this category label, right? It's because I will be showing you that how you can come up with this text box, right? So the insert option itself, you might would have seen that we can simply enter a text box as well, right? So we will be looking into this information, that how we can simply input this text box as well. But before that, let me bring in some formatting into tires and tubes, and I don't want this large font size to be there. So the font size I will gonna keep at as around 14. This seems quite fine. It might fit easily, right? That's because we have to keep one more text box over here, right? Or we need to keep one more card over here. So that's why 14 we can go forward with. All right, and font, I want to keep it as Sego UI that we have been making the use of till now, right? And let us go forward with the font color as blue, Maven blue that we were looking up to. Again, it's up to you what color you want to show over here. We are not exactly interested into the decimal places, just because we are not representing a decimal value or a numeric value over here. Okay, and the background, I need to bring in some changes into the background as well. Okay, the other information seems quite fine. Let us see, we are having this background option. The background, I don't want to keep it as white. I want to keep it as gray. Just like the previous ones, right? I want to provide a kind of similar kind of card. That's why I was asking you that you can simply go forward with keeping the same kind of visual over here as well. But just because we wanted to revise these things, so that's why I was not exactly exploring that out. Okay, so we can get this information that tires and tubes is providing us the maximum number of orders, right? As a product subcategory. So now I want to attach this text box with respect to this card, which will be reflecting this information that what this tires and tubes is representing, right? So let us go forward with an insert option, or you can simply go forward with here itself. But let me show you with the insert option. You will get to see in your element section that we are having this text box. And in the text box, we are required to enter the information as, okay, let us go forward with this option. So we need to keep the text box information as most ordered product type. Okay, let me just provide it a kind of proper formatting so that I can simply place it over my card. Let us drag it, drop it. And this seems quite fine, right? You can simply go forward with changing the formatting as well. As if you're keeping it in a complete uppercase format, then definitely it might require some more space. So you can simply go forward with keeping it in a lowercase format. You can simply capitalize the first letter, but the rest of the letters you can simply keep it as in a lowercase format itself. So we need to show it as most ordered product type, right? Okay, this is not exactly taking a lot of space. And now we can have this information, right? So we are representing that this specific card is giving us this info, right? So this specific card is giving us the information that, so we are able to get this information that tires and tubes are the most ordered product type, right? So in a similar way, we can get this information with respect to the most returned product type as well. So we can simply go forward with clicking shift click onto this specific visual and shift click onto this specific visual as well. Let us press Control C and then Control V. So similar kind of visual we can see over here itself. Let us arrange it in a proper way in the similar line with respect to our most ordered product type. But this time I want to show the most returned product type, right? So let me bring in the changes, and at this point I'm not exactly interested in looking forward to applying the filters on the basis of total orders. But the filters I will be applying is going to be with respect to the total number of returns. So I want to show the top and subcategory name on the basis of the total returns, right? Let me drag it and drop it over here. And if I'm applying the filter, let us just directly go forward with keeping the information wherein we are looking forward to the product subcategory name. And then the filtering I'm applying is with respect to top N. And the filter we are applying is with respect to total number of returns, right? Okay, total returns is also coming out to be tires and tubes. So we need to bring in some changes, right? Let us go forward with percentage of total returns. On that basis, again, tires and tubes is coming out to be that specific subcategory name, which is having the maximum number of returns, right? So we need to look upon this information at whether if it is fine or not. Okay. Okay, percentage of total returns is reflecting this information that tires and tubes is coming out to be our most returned product type, right? This doesn't really seem a kind of absolute appropriate value. So let us go forward with one more column which was representing the information about the return rate, right? So total number of returns that divided by the total number of orders we had, and then that we were calculating it in percentage, right? So let us drag it and drop it over here. Let us apply the filter. And now we are able to see some other information. And this is the relevant information, right? So you have to bring in changes. There might be some confusion from your side that it's because we have created so many number of measurement, right? So you have to simply go forward with applying all of the multiple measurement, which is giving you the proper insight. And that's why it's too much important to be clear about each and every single measurement that you have created, that what information we are getting from each and every single measurement, right? So by value, I will be looking forward to the return rate, and in terms of return rate itself, I will be coming up with this information that what is my most returned product type, right? So you can get this information. So now we are done with our executive dashboard, wherein we are reflecting this information with respect to each and every single aggregate numbers. We are showing our monthly revenue. We are showing our KPI cards that with respect to previous months, whether if you are into profit or loss, and what is the orders we are getting with respect to every category that we had into our product categories. Then top 10 products I'm showing with respect to the orders. And finally, what is my most ordered product type and what is my most returned product type. That is something I can represent via making the use of these cards again. Okay, so now we are done with our executive dashboard. So after this, we want to be exploring our executive dashboard, and this is going to be the first dashboard that you can represent in front of an executive or manager. And this is mostly the information you will be reflecting whenever you are working with an e-commerce data, right? So we are absolutely done with our executive dashboard, and we will be solving an assignment in the next videos. And after that, we will be moving into our map visual, right? So the second dashboard, which is reflecting the geospatial analysis, that is something we will be looking upon in the next videos. So that is all about the top and text cards, and let us meet in the next video with our assignment related to it. So thank you. All right, guys. So here we are with our fifth assignment, and this will be regarding the top and text cards, right? So in the previous video itself, we were discussing about that how we can create these top and text cards, and let us move forward with each and every single key objective with respect to this assignment, right? So the first key objective is asking us to card to the customer detail report to show the full name. So a similar kind of information, just like we were showing that product subcategory name, in a similar way, we can show the full name with respect to the customer detail onto a card, onto our customer detail report, right? And just like that, you can simply go forward with the second key objective, wherein you need to add a visual level filter, wherein you will be showing the top N, the top customers in terms of total revenue. And then you need to simply come up with this answer that what do you notice when you filter the report for low income customers, right? So you can simply, so there's a hint over here that you can simply check your value against the table. This is something you can do from your side. And then the second question that they're asking is how could you modify the top and filter to correct this? Right. So there is some kind of transformation you need to do on the top and filter so that you can simply correct this information in which you are seeking for, right? And then the third key objective is to simply copy and paste the card for 2 times to show the total orders and the total revenue for the top customer, right? And then finally, you have to add the text boxes for titles and adjust formatting to match the solution preview. So it's not exactly too much difficult, right? It seems to be too much similar to that of the previous assignment. It's previous assignment or the previous videos itself, right? So in the previous videos only we were discussing that how by making the use of the insert option, you can come up with this text box, how you can provide a kind of proper formatting to it. Then you can simply attach your text box with respect to that card visual, and you can simply keep the same formatting. You can simply keep the formatting to be the same for both of these objects, and you can simply copy it and paste it with respect to your second information as well. So this is something you are required to do in this specific assignment, and that would be all regarding our fifth assignment. And let us meet in the next video with the solution walkthrough of all of these key objectives, right? So that would be all regarding our fifth assignment, and let us meet in the next video with the solutions of it. So thank you. All right, guys, so let us look upon the solution of our top and text cards, right? So we were looking upon these objectives that we need to add a card to the customer detail report to show the full name. So let us look upon the solution of this specific key objective. So first of all, we need to add a card to the customer detail report that will be displaying the full name, right? So let us jump into our Power BI again. Let me go forward with inserting a card visual over here. Here is the card. You can simply insert it. And there is going to be 3 cards that we are going to insert over here. Let us bring in the changes into this specific card first of all, then we'll get to see the changes on the rest of the cards as well. A lot of filtering you will get to see over here that will be getting applied. And you will get to see that you can come up with multiple filterings as well if you want to. So something like that we will be exploring in this video. So let me go forward with first of all dragging and dropping my full name with respect to the card visual. Right. Now Aaron Adams is coming out to be our first full name. And why exactly it is coming out to be the first full name? The reason behind it is because we are looking into the name at this particular point as per the alphabetical order, right? So that's why we can come up with Aaron Adams as the full name, right? But we are not exactly interested in the alphabetical order at this point, but we are interested in the first name as per the revenue, which specific customer is giving us the highest revenue, right? That is what something the manager is quite interested in, right? The manager wants to know that who is that specific person who is providing us with the maximum revenue. All right. So let me go forward with my. Let us see what was the first objective. So the first objective was to add a card to the customer detail report to show the full name. Then we need to add a badge. That is something we have just solved right now. And let me move forward with the second key objective. So we need to add a visual level filter that will be displaying the top end to show the top customer full name in terms of total revenue, right? So let us go forward with this and they're asking us some more questions as well that what do you notice when you filter the report for low income customers? Okay, this is something we will be looking into. But first of all, let us see that the filter by applying the filter, right? Okay, so I want to look into the details of the customer who is giving us the maximum revenue. So let me go forward with the total revenue. But if you want to apply the filter, first of all, you need to apply the filter as per the full name. Okay, let me apply the filter over here. And now I need to apply the filter on the basis of top N. So top one customer I want to see who is giving us the maximum revenue. Okay, let me just drag it and drop it. Let me apply the filter. And what you can see over here is a blank name. So this is a kind of common mistake. This is a kind of common so why exactly I've shown you this common value, as most of the time you will get to see this issue. So in Google as well, if you'll search for this issue that why card is showing us the blank value, then it is a kind of common issue that you'll get to see for most of the times, right? So that's where the multiple filterings comes into picture. So I was mentioning in the front, or I was mentioning in the beginning of the video itself that we need to come up with multiple filtering, and on that basis itself we can simply exclude this blank value so that we can come up with that specific name or that specific customer who is exactly giving us the maximum revenue. So let us look into the solution how we can do that. So let me again go forward with my full name. Okay, this is going to the second filtering, and you can see that we are having a blank value over here. And the reason we are having this blank, and that is where data cleaning comes into picture, right? As we were already mentioning that you always need to come up with data cleaning so that you can simply come out of these blank values. And you won't be getting such kind of issues, right? Like looking forward to a blank value in your data set. So that's why in the Power Query editor, if we would have made these changes, then you would have seen that a proper name might would have appeared into our card. But that's completely fine just because it is a kind of common mistake that most of the people used to do. So that's why we were not exactly excluding the blank value at the beginning. So let me do one thing. Let me select all. Okay. And after selecting all, let me exclude. Let me untick this blank. And then if I'm applying the filter, then you will get to see that the filter is now being applied. And now Maurice Shan. So Maurice Shan is coming out to be that specific customer who is giving us the maximum revenue. Okay, so we can see the name over here that Maurice Shan is giving us the maximum revenue. Let me just again look into this. Okay, so you can simply cross-verify it from here itself. So maximum revenue we are getting from Maurice Shan, and that is coming out to be $12,408. So a kind of proper value we are getting, right? You can see the matching values in the matrix or in the table with respect to the card visual. Now they're asking us that what do you notice when you filter the report for low level, low income customers? Okay. So first of all, let us look into the high income customers. So with respect to high income, we can see that Larry is giving us maximum revenue. We can see the proper name. With respect to average level, we can see Maurice Sean is giving us the highest revenue in terms of average. But if I'm looking into the low income, I can see this information that Boni is coming out to be providing us with the maximum revenue, but Franklin is coming out to be over here that Franklin is actually providing us with the maximum revenue, right? So I need to bring in some change over here, right? I need to see that who exactly is Franklin and why exactly this name is coming out to be like this. Okay, so there are some kind of issues that we can see, and this is where you will get to see a kind of a representation of SQL, that how exactly we used to apply the filtering in the case of SQL. And you might would have heard about this term that is primary key. Okay, so why exactly we used to make the use of this primary key, you will get to learn about it practically when I will be showing you that who exactly this Franklin shoe is. So let me apply some kind of filter over here. So I want to see the full name, wherein the full name contains or the full name is Mr. Franklin Shoe. We can apply this filter and we'll get to see that now you can see that we are having two customers, right? Franklin Shoe is not exactly a single customer, but two customers we are having who are having their name as Franklin Shoe and they are giving us the revenue. So the revenue is coming out to be an aggregation. So the summation of the revenue from both of these two different customers is coming out to be the total revenue. And that's why in terms of low income customers, we were getting that Franklin Shoe is providing us the highest revenue. And that's where the SQL queries comes into picture. So you might would have seen that whenever we used to come up with SQL, so we used to come up with this primary key. So now why exactly we used to make the use of this primary key? Just because primary key, that is the customer key over here in the customer lookup table, is able to distinguish each and every single row from each other. So how exactly the given row is different from some another row? If I want to get that idea, I can simply come up with this primary key, that is my customer key. Okay, and just because of that, what exactly I will be doing is that if I want to come up with a filtering, if I want to look upon the detail of the customer who is giving us the maximum revenue, then I won't be looking into the full name, but I will be looking into the revenue to be generated on the basis of customer key. That's because that can give us a better insight, right? Just because customer key is going to be different on each and every single row. Just because it is different, so definitely we can get the proper value attached as a revenue with respect to the customer key, and we can get a proper name. So in the card, we will be showing the name only, but the filter we will be applying on the basis of customer key, so that such kind of issue won't occur. And now what exactly I will be doing is that I will be simply removing that specific filter, and I want to see the filter getting applied on the basis of customer key. Okay, let me add it over here, drag it and drop it. And on the basis of customer key, I want to show the top end values, top first customer who is giving us the highest revenue. Let me apply it. Let me apply this filter. You will get to see a proper name. And now if I'm looking forward to the information, so I won't apply the filter on this specific visual at this point. Let me just simply remove this filter. And now we can see that with respect to our card visual, if I'm looking into the orders by the low income level, we will get to see the name appearing as Boni, and the Boni is also coming out to be as our top customer in terms of generating revenue from the low income level, right? So proper information we can see at this point. So that all changes you always need to bring in from your side if you need to come up with the proper details, right? So now once we're done with this, let me move forward with my next assignment questions or the key questions. So this was a kind of important insight that you always need to look upon, right? Whenever you are applying the filter, you should always go forward with applying the filter on the basis of primary key, and only those specific values which are coming out to be different or unique into the column. Okay. So now once we're done with this, let me move forward with my, so we need to keep the solution preview like this, right? We want to show the values like this. Okay, so Morris shown should be shown like this. A black background we need to come up with, and then the name should be shown as like this, right? And then what are orders we are getting from this specific customer and what is the revenue they're generating. Okay, we'll be looking into that. And now we need to copy and paste the card for 2 times to show the filter. Okay, they have asked us that how could you modify the top and filter to correct this. We have already seen about that, right? And now we need to copy and paste the card to show total orders and total revenue for the top customer. Let us look upon that as well. Let me copy and paste this visual for 2 times. Or one thing I can do, first of all, I can bring in the changes, the complete formatting changes into this specific visual only. Okay. So I want to keep the background as dark gray. Let me double click over here. You will get to see the formatting option. I don't actually want to add any title over here. I want to simply turn it off. Category label also I want to turn it off. But with respect to call out value, I need to keep it in a white color, right? So the name you can simply, there is no need to show such large name. You can keep it up to 40. Okay. And let us keep, there is not going to be any display unit over here. That is a kind of certain thing. And I want to show Sego UI bold we can show if I want to. But it's not coming out to be great, right? Let me go forward with the semi-bold option. This seems quite fine, I mean. Okay. And we can keep it in the white color as per the requirement. Let me keep it in the white color. And the background I need to set it as dark gray. Right? So let us see where our background is. So in size and styling, you will get to see a background option. I don't want to keep it as white. I want to keep it as lighter. And now you can see a kind of proper name appearing, right? So this filtering seems quite fine. Okay. And now I can simply come up with 2 more visuals. So let me just reduce the size of it just because I want to show the value over here only. I don't want to show a kind of big name like Maurice Sean. And over here, what exactly I want to show is the total number of orders, right? We even need to attach a kind of text box over here. We will be looking upon that as well. And let me go forward with applying. Let me first of all show over here the total orders instead of full name. So let us look upon the total orders. Let me add the data over here. We can see 6 value. Why exactly I'm able to see 6? That's because the filters I've already applied. I've already applied the proper filter over here. And that's why I'm able to see, I'm not exactly required to apply the filter again and again. And over here, I want to see the total revenue. This seems quite fine. We are able to come up with a proper information. And let me just convert it like this. Okay. Kind of great information we can see, right? So Maurice Sean is having the maximum number of orders on his name as 6, and Maurice Sean is providing us 12K dollars as the revenue. The color I want to keep it as Maven Blue. Let me do it. So into the visual itself, you will get to see an option for the callout value. Let us keep the color as Maven blue as per the requirement. And also with respect to our revenue as well. And last thing I need to do is to simply attach a text box over here. So over here itself, you will get to see a text box. Now this text box must be representing the information as the top customer by revenue. Okay. So you need to show the top customer by revenue. And you can definitely increase the size of it. Let us keep it as 14. Let us go forward with 24. If I'm keeping it as up to 18, 18 it doesn't really comes out to be a great number, right? If I'm keeping it as 16, uh, let us go forward with this. Let me display it. Let us see how exactly it is appearing. Okay, 16 seems quite fine, right? Total customer by revenue. You can see the proper value or the proper text box, which is representing that what this card is exactly representing to us. Let me just drag it over here. Let me put the top customer by revenue over here itself. Okay, let me select it. And one more thing I want to do over here, and that is I need to come up with this orders and revenue as well, right? And you can see a kind of sign attached. So one thing you can do is that you can simply copy this text box. You can simply copy the text box. The formatting is going to be the same, and then you can simply display the details for the rest of the two visuals as well, right? Let me just click on this visual. Let me copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. I want to show orders and then revenue. You can keep the styling to be the same. You can keep the font size to be the same as per your requirements. If they have externally mentioned to keep any text boxes, okay. The formatting, as they are asking to provide the formatting completely on the basis of what is there into our table itself, right? So one more thing I need to do over here, this name is appearing to be too large, right? So there is no need to keep this font size to be 40. Let me keep it as 25. 25 also seems fine. And this value also, I don't want to show such enlarged value and with respect to this specific dollars value as well. And now let me see changes. You can attach your revenue over here, and then top customer by revenue you can attach over here itself. Okay. And then with respect to this, you can simply keep it as the orders. Okay. And let me now just put it over here. These changes you can make from your side, right? It won't be taking a lot of time for you. These are kind of obvious things, right? Just the formatting or just putting these values is taking a lot of time, but you can see that how you can come up with these formatting, right? So yes, it's not exactly too much difficult. You can keep it from your side. You can simply make the changes. as per the requirement. Let me keep it as 12. Orders also, let me keep it as 12 only. Okay, these changes you can make, right? I mean, it's taking a lot of time. You can simply bring in these changes and you will be able to see the values. Okay, so we will be meeting in the next video with the proper formatting, and these changes you can simply make. You can simply drag it and you can put it above your visual, and you will get to see that a properly aligned kind of dashboard in the next video. And that would be all regarding the solution walkthrough of our assignment. And let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. So thank you. All right, guys. So it's time to move forward with our second dashboard, and this will be regarding the geospatial analysis. Right. So we have looked upon this analysis, or we have looked upon this fact that all of the important numbers which the stakeholders or the executive was quite interested in. So we have already shown those important insights, right? So we came up with each and every single insight in which the stakeholder is quite interested in, and we have shown it in the first dashboard itself. But right now it's time for the geospatial analysis, wherein I will be showing the insights with respect to a map, right? So let us go forward with this map visual, and map visual will be ultimately helping you out to plot the values with respect to your total number of orders if you want to show. So if the executive is asking you these questions that with respect to a location or in different countries, what are the number of orders you are getting, right? So in order to deliver this insight that what is the total number of orders or what is the revenue we are generating from these multiple countries, just for that we can come up with this map visual. So let me go forward with this insert option, and into this insert option itself we will get to see a kind of map visual wherein we can have these multiple kind of map visual, right? So initially we didn't really had these many number of visuals, but just because Power BI is coming up with an upgradation every month, so we can see so many kind of maps, right? Like we can see this map visual, we can come up with this field map, Azure map we can come up with. Along with that, we can come up with such kind of map as well. So there are going to be, so for our own use case, we are going to make the use of this specific map, as the other map, like Azure map, might require the sign in option over here, right? So you need to do sign in over here so that you will be able to access such kind of maps. But definitely when you are making the use of map, you are required to make sure about one thing, and that is you are having the internet connection. Just because if you want to come up with the analysis via as a geospatial analysis, then just for that you need to have a proper internet connection, right? And just because of that we are having the internet connection, and let us move forward with our map visual. So into the map visual you can see that you are having so many number of fields that you can enter, right? You can directly go forward with entering the continent, or you can simply enter the countries, or you can enter the region as well. And as per that, you can have this bubble size. So in the bubble size, you can simply show that if you want to show the total number of orders, or if you want to show the total profit, or if you want to show the total revenue that you are generating from a specific location. So this is a kind of important insight in which the stakeholders or the executive is always quite interested in. That, for example, if our company is there, so if the company is having sales in multiple countries, then what is the orders or what is the revenue we are generating from these multiple countries? So we always need to look upon that fact, right? And just for that, let me go forward with my, and yeah, one more thing, you can see that we are having this latitude and longitude value over here as well. So even if you're having a specific data set which is consisting of the latitude and longitude value, then what exactly you can do is that you can simply go forward with this table view, and let me go forward with my one of the table that is giving us the insight about the territory lookup. And if I'm having one of the column which is giving me the insight about the longitude and latitude, then I can simply keep the data category as latitude or longitude over there, right? So just because in this specific data set we are not exactly having any of such value, but let me show you some another dashboard which I have created already. So in this specific dashboard, you can see that we are doing the Uber cab price analysis. So on the basis of what is the pickup of Uber cab and then what is the drop off. So as per that, if you want to simply figure out that for a specific date, if you want to figure out that what was the pickup date, latitude and longitude, or if you want to come up with a proper pictorial representation. So from which specific location you had the pickup or the Uber cab had the pickup, and at which specific location the drop off was there, right? So if you want to come up with these kind of pictorial representation, then you can simply come up with these map visual itself. So let me show it to you how exactly it is working. I'll just maximize it and I'll show it to you that how you will be able to come up with a proper pictorial representation of the actual location. And that will be helping you out to get the idea that how cool Power BI is, right? You can simply come up with a proper location picture as well. Just like the map we are having in Google, just like the Google Maps, you can have this Power BI map visual itself, wherein you can get the proper location picture as well. So let me go forward with maximizing it. You can just simply maximize it. You can go forward with this plus option, that is completely up to you. And let us get into a country. So if I'm going forward with maximizing in the country India, then you can see all of the state names, the complete inside, and if I'm maximizing it a bit more, then a complete picture you can see, right? The actual location. Like for example, you can also maximize it a bit more over here. And a complete pictorial representation you can see, right? A complete idea you will be able to get. So it completely depends upon your internet connection, that how fast your internet connection is, and based on that, you will be able to see a proper pictorial representation. So you can see how cool Power BI is, right? You can get a satellite kind of view via making the use of this map visual. You can exactly see that what was the pickup location. So a pictorial representation of the pickup location and a pictorial representation of the drop off location. That's how cool it is, right? And even if I'm clicking onto a specific location, then on clicking onto that location, it will take some time, just because map is making the use of internet, and based on that location, you will get to see the changes happening, and you will get to see a complete pictorial representation of that specific location from where the pickup was there. So this was the pickup location. You can get a complete picture of it. So that's why you can see that why we used to consider Power BI so special, right? You can get a kind of complete idea that where my location was and what all streets are there, complete labeling you can see, right? So this is the reason why this map visual is quite cool, right? So this is something you can get via making the use of your map visual. And let us get back into our previous Power BI dashboard and let us create the map visual from scratch. So let me get into the report view. Let me move forward with my second report, wherein I will be showing this map visual. And I'm having one of the table, that is the territory lookup table. So I've already categorized these multiple fields or these multiple columns. And what exactly I want to represent to the stakeholders at this point is, with respect to a country, what is the total number of orders we are getting? Just because this is a kind of insight in which the stakeholders are quite interested in. So I will be simply dragging country column and plotting it on the location. In a similar way, I can have, just because I want to represent the total orders. So total orders I will be searching for, and let me put it on my bubble size. And now you can see this bubble size, right? That this bubble size will be simply showing you that how many number of orders you are getting from these specific locations. So based on the country data we are having, we are able to see that the more will be the bubble size, the more number of orders we are getting. But you might would have seen that in the previous example that we were looking upon, we were able to come up with some another kind of map visual. And in this specific case, we are having some another kind of display of the map visual, right? But just because of that, what exactly we can do is that we can double click on this map visual. And now you can see that we are having this map settings. So one of the most cool kind of map I used to like is the aerial one. So aerial one will be giving you the exact satellite kind of view, right? So you can see a complete picture, right? So you can simply maximize it over here. You'll get to see a complete pictorial representation of the location, right? So that's why I like this aerial representation mostly. But let us go forward with some another location, another way to represent these details, right? So I won't be choosing this specific representation, and let me go forward with some another one. So in map settings, I mean, it's completely up to you, right? If you want to go forward with the aerial one, you can choose it, but I would like to keep it as dark. Okay, so dark one can give us more insight and kind of better picture. I like it actually, but it's again completely up to you what specific kind of map styling you want to choose. And if you want to show the labels, it's completely up to you. Yes, I want to show the labels, so I will be turning it on. You can turn it off as well. So you won't be able to see the country names. That's why showing the labels is quite important, right? And you can have this controls option. You can auto zoom I've already shown you. You can simply maximize. You can even have this zoom buttons. So the zoom button will be helping you out to zoom for a specific location. And there's a lasso button over here as well. So lasso button will be helping you out to look forward to a specific to simply focus on a specific location. That is something you can do by making the use of the lasso button. Okay, so just because you can directly maximize it, so and you don't really require this auto zoom button, so we can simply turn it off. All right, you can simply auto zoom. Okay, we are done with this. We are done with the map styling. You can choose the styling as per your requirements, and the bubble size, I want it to be a bit more big. So I want to be coming up with the bubble color. Okay, blue seems fine, right? This color seems quite fine, and the sizing, I want to provide it as 0. So kind of better idea we can get, right? That where we are exactly. So you can see that we are having the maximum number of orders from this specific location. And why we are exactly able to figure that out just because of the bubble size. More will be the bubble size, more will be that specific quantity, right? In a similar way, you can have this heat map, you can have these category labels. If you're turning it on, you will get to see that we are exactly, you are getting the, or from which all countries we are exactly getting our orders, right? So again, this category labels, turning it on might be a bit useful for us to show some more important insights or a clear insight to the stakeholders, right? And there are so many number of changes you can make from your side, right? You can keep some kind of title over here. The title you can bring in some changes. If you want to turn on the background, it's completely up to you. If you want to turn it off, again, it's completely up to you, right? Okay, so this will be showing us all of the important insights in which you are interested in, right? So you can see that now we are able to deliver these insights that from which specific country, what all number of orders we are getting, and based on the size of the bubble, we are able to deliver the insights in front of the stakeholder. But one more thing I would like to do over here that you can see this tooltip. So this tooltip is not exactly showing us the details, just like the previous tooltip was showing us, or the formatting is something in which we need to focus upon for this tooltip, right? So let us bring in the changes directly into that as well. Let me go forward with double clicking over here again. And into the properties section, you will get to see these tooltips, and I want to keep it as default, right? And let us bring in some changes into the text of it. So size seems fine. Everything seems fine. Just in the label color, I want to keep it as white. The value color, if I'm keeping it as naval blue. So for naval blue, you can again remember that hex code that we were talking about. That is 20E2D7, right? And now the drill text and icon color, I can keep it as white. And the background, I want to keep it as dark green, right? So kind of consistency we need to maintain, or it's completely up to you if you want to maintain the consistency or not. And the transparency, I want to keep it as 10%. And now let me see what exactly I'm getting over here. Right. A kind of better picture you can get, right? With respect to France country, how many number of orders I'm getting, and all of these important insights you can get over here. So that's exactly how you can come up with these map visual. Definitely, you can try it out from your side. You can even maximize the map visual if you want. You can see this option over here. And by maximizing it, you will get to see a better that specific pickup and drop of latitude and longitude value, right? So you can see that how much cool it is, and definitely you should try it out from your side. You can get a kind of complete location. You can see how clearly you can get to know the location, right? How clear the picture is. So that's how cool Power BI is, right? So definitely you should try it out from your side, and that would be all in this video. And let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. All right, guys. So let us move forward with our next visual. And this specific visual is quite important, as in most of the dashboard, if you have seen that, you might would have came across this visual, and that is a slicer visual, right? So in Power BI, there are some kind of visuals which are a kind of recommended kind of visuals, or you might would see these visuals occurring again and again, right? So a card is a kind of visual wherein whenever you are working with an e-commerce data, the company or the executive is always interested in this information as an aggregate kind of numbers, right? So for that, we can simply come up with these cards, which is giving us that complete info. In a similar way, we can come up with these slicers. So slicers we can exactly make the use of if I'm quite interested in this information, that if I'm bringing in some changes into the slicer, then I want the change to be happening on the rest of the visuals as well. So all of the visuals which are present on my report itself or onto a single page itself, I want that on bringing in the change onto this specific slicer itself, I can see the changes happening on all of the visuals which are there on the same page, right? And just for that, you can simply come up with these slicers. So slicers are going to be those visual filters which will be affecting all of the rest of the visuals on the report page or on the similar page. Then you can simply come up with this slicer option where you can see that there are multiple ways in which you can come up with these slicer options. So we will be looking into the practical implementation of that as well. But the thing is that um, if I'm having a kind of data, then I won't be exactly working with a specific kind of data itself, right? Like I can have the data of a textual type, I can have a data of a numeric type. In a similar way, we can have a data of a kind of date kind of type, right? So if I'm having such kind of data, then with respect to each and every single kind of data you're having or type of data you're having, you can make the use of slicer as per the formatting or as per the data type, right? So for example, if you're having textual kind of data, then you can have some kind of specific options that you can see. So textual kind of data, you can relate it with respect to the categorical kind of data. So in this specific dashboard itself, we are going to make the use of the continent. So continent we will be associating with respect to our slicer itself, and via making the use of that continent multiple values or multiple categories which are there into the continent, we can see the changes happening on our map visual, right? So the thing is that we can have the categorical kind of data in a similar way. We can have the textual kind of data, which is going to be a bit related to that of the categorical kind of data itself. In a similar way, we can have the numeric kind of data as well, wherein if I'm interested in this information, that based on these specific numeric values, so within this range of numeric values, if I want to see the changes happening on the rest of the visuals as well, then I can simply come up with this kind of slicer, and I will be having different options associated within slicer if I'm going forward with the numeric kind of data. In a similar way, if I'm having the data which is a kind of more like date time, right? So for example, if I'm interested in this information that I want to see the details, or I want to see the insights on the rest of the visuals in between these two date categories itself, like based on the based on the date like 1st January 2022, if I want the information up till 2nd February 2023, then in between these two dates, it's because I want the information to be there or I want the insights to be there. So for that, again, I can have different options or a specific option that will be associated with respect to the date type of data. So based on how exactly you're making the use of your slicer, if you're associating a slicer with a textual or categorical kind of data, or if you're associating your slicer with respect to a numeric kind of data, or if you're associating your slicer with respect to a date time kind of data, on that basis, you can see the changes happening on the rest of the visuals. And on that basis, you can see the options, the specific options associated with your slicer, right? So with respect to our own use case, we are going to look upon a categorical kind of data itself, or you can call it as a kind of textual kind of data as well, right? So let us make the use of the slicer option. Let us associate it into our report, the second report itself, and you will get to see that how cool the slicer option is, right? So let me go forward with insert option. So either you can simply select it over here itself. So let me select it from here itself. Let me click over here. And now you can see your slicer, and slicer is a kind of thing that you will be making the use of in like every dashboard. You will get to see the slicer to be there in every dashboard just because it is a kind of functionality which is Power BI is having, right? Power BI is famous for its slicer functionality. So that's why you will get to see the slicer option for most of the times, right? And now let me go forward with this specific column, which is giving us the insight about the continents. Let me drag it and drop it. Okay. And now, as I was mentioning, that you can have multiple options in which you can display this data. Either you can display it in this specific format, or you can display it in multiple other formats as well. So let us look upon that. And one thing I want over here is that I don't want to see this name over here. Okay. So let us bring in some formatting. Let us see that how we can change the way in which these options are being represented. As already I was mentioning that with respect to the categorical or textual kind of data, multiple ways are going to be there in which you can represent these options. So title is something if I want or I don't want, that is something up to me, but I don't really want this title to be there. And in a similar way, I want this slicer header to be there itself. And now in the slicer settings, you will get to see that what all options you are having to represent these multiple categories, right? So just because the values are being vertically listed at this point, so that's why the styling is vertical list at this point. In a similar way, you can have a tile kind of option. So this tile option will be helping you out to represent all of the multiple categories into a tiles format itself. So a specific category will be represented by a specific tile, and that's a kind of tile kind of styling. In a similar way, you can have a kind of drop down kind of option as well. So via making the, so if you're having multiple slicers, then for working with multiple slicers, it's a kind of optimal thing if you're going forward with the drop down kind of option, right? But again, it's up to you. But with respect to our own use cases, because we are only having three categorical values, that's why we will be looking forward with, or we will be moving forward with respect to our tile styling, right? So now you can bring in the change. As soon as you're bringing in some change into the formatting of it, you will get to see the tiles getting reflected or the tiles rearranging it in that way in which you are bringing in the styling, right? Just because I want it to be there, I want the styling to be there for the overall dashboard, and that specific information should be shown into the overall bit, right? So now let us look upon, let us bring in some formatting change. So let me show you some details, how exactly it is working. So if I'm choosing Europe over here, so now you can see that now we're only able to focus on the Europe continent. So all of the countries which are there in Europe, you will get to see the map visual. And if I'm not even involving this map visual only over here, and if I'm involving some other visuals as well, then on all of the rest of the visuals, you will get to see the changes happening. And that's how cool the slicer option is, right? So even if you're involving a date type over here, and if you want the dates that in between this date, I want the details to be shown, then you can see the orders getting changed. You will get to see the revenue to be shown on that specific date time as well, right? So that's how cool Slicer is. And I want to bring in some changes into this Slicer itself. And let us see what all changes we can make, right? So background color I want over here. I want the background color to be like this. All right. And transparency, I can keep it up to 10%. That seems quite fine. Border, I don't want to provide. Shadow, I'm not interested in. These options that I'm not exactly looking upon at this point, you can definitely try it out from your side. If you want to come up with a cool kind of dashboard or a more, I won't say kind of more impactful, but a more good looking, a kind of more visually appealing kind of dashboard. If you want to come up with, you can simply make use of these visual border shadow kind of option as well. But just because I'm not exactly interested into that, so I won't be bringing in the changes with respect to that. And let us move forward with the rest of the options that we are having. So we are having this values option. Now, with respect to the values, how you exactly want to represent it, it's again up to you. Let me go forward with Sego UI bold. And then I want to bring in some increment in the values, right? Okay, now this seems more fun, right? A better picture you can get, and the font color you can again keep as per your requirement itself. It seems more cool as compared to previous one, right? Padding seems fine. We don't need to bring in any changes into the padding. Background color, if you want to change, it's completely up to you again. One thing I can do over here, and that is I can keep the font color as white. Okay, and with respect to the background color, if I'm keeping it like that, then it seems quite fine. Or if I'm moving forward with this specific color itself, then again it's completely up to you, right? I think white was a better color, right? White with black font color seems to be a better option. Okay, you can even keep it as, so these changes you can always make from your side. Whatever seems more cool, you can definitely go forward with it. But you can see that a black font color with a white background seems more cool, right? So that's why we can go forward with it. And if you want to bring in some more changes as well, you can bring it. But I don't think that there are any changes which are required to be done from our side. And let us see our dashboard now. Okay, it seems quite cool, right? So we are able to see the total orders by the country. I want to bring in some details. I want to bring in some formatting change into this as well. So category labels, I'm turning it on, and what exactly I want to represent as the category label, or you can turn it off as well. Title over here, I don't want to keep it as total orders by country. I want to keep it as orders by country. This seems quite fine. We can simply make it the font. I would like to keep it as Sego UI again. All right, and let me align it in the center. Okay. And if you want to keep it as Sego UI bold, again, you can keep it. It's completely up to you. If I'm keeping it like that, you can see the information and you can simply increase the font size as well as per your requirements. Okay, this seems quite fine, right? And now let me get back into my dashboard. And now we are able to represent the orders by country. And we can have the slicer option. So in any of the slicer, if you click, you will get to see the changes happening onto your overall dashboard. Okay. So for example, if I'm interested in this North America continent, so on clicking over here, you get to navigate to your North America continent on the map visual and all of the countries which are there. So we are getting the orders from United States and we are getting the orders from Canada. So all of the countries which are there in North America continent, you will get to see. So that's exactly how the slicer option used to work. We will be coming across an assignment with respect to slicer as well in the upcoming video. And that would be all regarding a slight insight about these slicers, and you can definitely try it out from your side. You can simply go forward with the other data types as well. You can see that with respect to date type of data, what kind of options you are getting. With respect to numeric kind of data, what options we are getting, and with respect to this categorical data, we have already shown you. So try it out from your side, and let us meet in the next video with an quite exciting assignment with respect to these slicers. So that would be all, and thank you. All right, guys, so let us look into our fifth assignment, and this will be regarding the slicers that we were discussing about, right? So the first key objective they have given to us is to add a slicer to filter the customer detail report page by the year, right? So on the basis of year, we need to filter out the details, or all of the visuals that we are having on the customer detail report must be filtered on the basis of the year column. So that is something we need to do. So in this specific case, as we were discussing, that multiple kind of data you can associate with respect to your slicer. So we are associating a date kind of data with respect to our slicer, right? In a similar way, the second key objective is adding us to add a visual level filter to exclude blanks. Again, something like that we can do. So blanks, if that specific column is having, we can look upon that if it is having blanks, then we can simply remove it, right? Then the third key objective is to asking us that we can simply choose any slicer style that allows users to filter individual years or across multiple years. For this option, we will be looking into that how we can come up with choosing these multiple years, right? So let us meet in the next video with the solution walkthrough of all of these key objectives. It is not exactly too much difficult. You will be able to solve it easily. If you're having a kind of, if you have watched our previous video, right? So let us meet in the next video with the solution walkthrough of these key objectives. And that would be all regarding the fifth assignment with respect to our slicers. So thank you. All right, so let us get into the solution walkthrough of our key objective. So first of all, we need to add a slicer to filter the customer detail report page by years, right? So let us get back into our Power BI dashboard and let us get into our customer detail report. And now we need to add a filter which will be showing you that not with respect to map only, but with respect to other visuals as well. You will get to see the changes happening on the via making the use of slicer. So let us just drag it and drop it. Let us create some space for our slicer. Slicer, we mostly like to keep it in the front, in the top, right? Whenever you are going forward with the slicer, always try to keep it in the top itself. That seems more cool, right? That seems more ideal as per the requirements. And whenever you are creating a dashboard, always try to keep it in the top. Okay, so let me go forward with selecting a slicer. We need to represent the years over here, right? So the data we need to put in over here is going to be years. Let us drag it and drop it. We are able to see the changes. We are able to see the values, right? So 2020 is the year, and then 2021, 2022 is the year, right? If I'm bringing in some changes, if I'm simply dragging it, then I will get to see the information getting changed from the year of 2021 to 2022. Right? Like, let me show you the changes over here itself. So when I'm looking forward to the information from the year of 2020 to 2022, you will get to see the changes, right? You can see the changes happening in this line visual as well. And when I'm bringing in the changes, when I'm looking forward to the information from the year of 2021 to 2022, then you can see how this line map is getting changed, how the rest of the visuals are also getting changed. So as many as number of visuals you can put in your dashboard itself, and by making the use of the slicer, you will get to see the changes happening onto each and every single visual that you are having, right? So as per the question, we have simply dragged and dropped our values, and let us look into the second key objective. We have to add a visual level filter to exclude blanks. Okay, so if you're having any of the column which is having blanks, then we can simply put in that kind of filter, right? Let us look into this data, what kind of data we are having. Okay, so we are having the data which is consisting of 2020, 2021, and 2022 data. So we don't really have any kind of blank information, right? So even if you're not keeping it, even if you're not putting that filtering, it seems completely fine. So the second assignment, we won't be required to, come up with that kind of filtering just because we are not even having this kind of blank column over here or blank value over here. And finally, we need to choose any slicer style that allows users to filter individual years or across multiple years. Just for that, let me go forward with my slicer settings and let me bring in the changes into the slicer settings so you'll get to know that how you can come up with multiple options. So as you can see over here, as we were discussing that multiple kind of styling options you will get to see based on what kind of data you are inputting over here. So at this point, just because I'm having a date kind of data, so that's why if I'm looking forward to the option like a tile option. So with respect to tile option, again, you can see these multiple years. Again, a kind of similar kind of visual you can see just like the previous example that we were discussing in our previous second dashboard. But one thing is over here that I would like to show you. Let us reduce its size. Okay. And I want to show you one thing that, for example, if you're clicking on 2021, then you will get to see the changes happening with respect to only one visual, right? But what if you want the details to be shown with respect to multiple years? If I'm interested in the information in 2021 and 2022 as well, then you can simply press Control and click. And now for 2 years, you can see the information. And if you want the information to be shown for all of these years, you can simply Control plus click. And now for all of the years, you can see the changes over here, right? So either you can make the use of that or you can simply come up with this option. So we have already turned it on, that is multi-select. Just because we have turned it on, that's why we are able to come up with this control plus click kind of option to choose with across multiple years. Or you can also come up with this option that if you are interested in looking forward to the information from all of the years, then you can simply go forward with, you can simply go forward with the select all kind of option. Then after clicking on select all, you will get to see the changes with respect to all of the options being chosen, right? That's exactly how it used to work. You can simply move forward with these multiple options. And if you want to bring in the changes into the formatting of it, you can again bring in the changes. What exactly I can do at this point is that I don't want to bring in the changes again just because I wanted to show you a manual way to create this dashboard or to create this slicer on the basis of the year column. That's why we were looking upon that manual kind of way to come up with this slicer option. But just because we need to provide a kind of, again, a similar kind of mapping with respect to the previous slices, so we can simply delete it. And the previous visual that we have already created, we can simply paste it over here. And after pasting it, you will get to see, we don't want to sync it. So syncing, what exactly do we mean by syncing? It is a quite bit important. So by syncing, what exactly we'll get to see is that if I'm bringing in the changes into this specific slicer, you will get to see the changes happening on the rest of the pages of visuals as well. Like for example, if I'm clicking on North America over here, so I will get to see the unique customers from North America. I will get to see the revenue from per customer on the basis of the continent North America. And if I'm syncing, then you will get to see the changes happening on the other pages as well. So all of the visuals which are there on the rest of the pages, so on those pages visuals as well, you will get to see the changes happening. So that's why it's completely up to you if you want to keep the data sync or if you want to keep it, if you don't want to sync it, again, it's completely up to you. And that's why at this point, we don't want to sync the data, right? I want the changes to be seen with respect to this specific page itself or the visuals which are present in this specific page itself. So that's why I will don't sync it. And the information I want to represent is not with respect to the continent, but it is with respect to the year column. Let me drag it and drop it. You will get to see the changes and that's how easy it is, right? So we might would have already shown you that copy and paste kind of option, but just because you won't be able to see these multiple options, styling options, if you would have copied it already. So that's why we looked upon the manual way to come up with this visual and okay, we need to bring in some changes into this as well. Let us just reduce the size of these so that we can perfectly fit the information and this seems quite fine, right? So we can perfectly see the filter which is being associated with our customer detail report now. You can choose multiple options. You can come up with a select all option as well if you want to, and you can choose in between multiple years or a particular year. So that would be all regarding the solution walkthrough of our slices assignment, and let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. So thank you.